Hey guys, this is Chris with the 7-Minute Fix, and we're about to make a sermon slide and scripture slide for a presentation. I was given the title and scripture and went ahead and found this picture of a beggar to use. So let's go ahead and open up Photoshop and get started. We're going to open up that file, beggar.jpg, and let's make it a little bit bigger here. And the first thing we want to do is go up here and we're going to click and get our magnetic lasso tool and start dragging around. Now, as you can see, I'm going to go very quick. It's not going to be super perfect, and that's okay. Also, you'll see that this photo is not in HD quality, and also that is not a big problem because of the way that we're going to be using it. Now, this message is going to be called What You Got, and it's going to have to do with the beggar standing outside of the gates into the tabernacle when Peter and John saw him, and of course mentioned that silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee, and we'll use a scripture close to that, Acts 3 and 5. But as you can see, we're almost done here. And we're going to finish dragging around his fingers here. Alright, now as soon as we finish this up, what you're going to want to do is right click or control click, and we're going to layer via copy and delete the background. Next up, you want to pull your eraser tool out, and we're going to just kind of touch up the edges that obviously look very pointy and jagged. Right here around his hand, around underneath his nose and mouth probably. I'll go ahead and grab that as well. And then I think I looked down at his feet and they were a little boxy, so let's just kind of fix that up into black and white so you can kind of play with it and it's not going to be a big deal, obviously. As soon as we're done with this, let's go ahead and zoom out and we are going to be done. So what we're going to do is save it as first a PSD onto the desktop. We don't need that anymore. Let's get rid of it. And we're going to create a new file. Let's go ahead and call it episode 1 sermon title. And as you see, I've made it as a HD 1280 by 720. That's good. And let's go ahead and place our first file in. That's the yellow background. Obviously, we're going to have to drag it because it came in a little small. That's no problem at all. Go ahead and take that, make it about big enough size to fit. Center that up. And next up, we're going to pull our beggar PSD in because we wanted to see like there's no, that white background is all gone. Let's go ahead and make a text file. We're going to do the title. Now, the font that I love to use is Blackout, and we're going to make that about 200 probably, make that big enough to fit. Let's get What You Got typed up on here. As you can see, they are a little bunched up, so if you go over here to your text, you can change that number right there to 200 or so that it looks a little bit better and spaced out. Also, let's go ahead and make this a little bit darker probably. I want it to be really dark gray there. Alright, now let's go ahead and mark off. We're going to go back to a text. We're going to make this one a little bit smaller. Go up here, probably make it about a 75 or so, and type in my youth leader's name and then the date, which is August 22nd. As you notice, it's not showing up. That's because we did that number right here as a 200. Let's change that to about 75, and now we've got it matching. Now, I do want to change this actually real quick to a different color. I like them to be different, and you'll see why in just a moment. But let's go ahead and make this inside these boxes. To me, it just looks a little bit better when it fits kind of closer to the middle and a little bit centered wise. Now, go ahead and grab your beggar PSD file. Let's free transform it, make it a little bit bigger here, and I want to kind of put it at an angle. Let's make it a little different, you know. Let's put an angle here and move it in a little bit closer inside these boxes. I think that looks great. Next, we're going to double click over here on What You Got and make an inner shadow. Let's put this like a 7, maybe a 29 or a 30 or so here, and probably a 7 as well. And actually, let's move that up some. Move that one a little bit more. And then we've got that nice little inner shadow there. It gives it a little bit more depth. Same thing for inner shadow on the title. Change these numbers up just about the same there, and we've got our nice little title showing up in there. I like that a lot. Alright, so there we go. Let's go up here and save this. We want to save as a PSD file first and hit OK there. And then second, we want to save it as a JPEG. It makes it a lot easier to bring it into your presentation software. Now, as soon as we're done, let's take off the eyeball over here so that these go away. We're going to create a new text file. This is to create the scripture. It's Acts 3 and 5, like I mentioned. Let's change this color actually to the dark gray. Again, I like the title to be one color, everything else to not be something else. And let's go back, make another text file. This is going to be just a little bit of maneuvering here, and I'm going to switch over here to get my verse copier. Makes it a little bit easier. Off of BibleGateway.com. Now let's put this in. I'm going to first make this to the right. And let's change the color to white. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. And this is the part that's kind of fun. I hate the little lines in between the words. I like them to be evenly spaced out. Let's make it bigger. Alright, now that one word's not showing up, so let's just kind of drag this down until we got it. Now, of course, the words are too close together. Again, that number right there is never in the right place. So let's move that. Let's make it a little bit shorter. There we go. And of course, we can just move these words up, and they should all fit into place and look all right. Move that up, and then let's drag this down. There we go. And next up, I'm going to take that bigger. Let's move him out of the way. If you move him over, then right click, I'm going to horizontally flip him. And let's kind of move him around another way, like that maybe. Let's move him over in this corner. It's okay if he's behind the text at this time, because it's kind of just to remind them of the beggar and what's going on. Go ahead and double click over here. We're going to do the same thing, inner shadow, for the title and for the verse, 7, 30, and 7. Same thing on Acts. Double click, inner shadow, 7, 30, and 7. And now let's save that again also as a PSD file. Make sure to change that title to scripture. And then let's go ahead and save that as a JPEG as well to our desktop. And that leaves us with a great title slide and scripture slide for our presentation. Thanks for joining me, guys, for the 7-minute fix. Make sure to comment if you have any questions or what you want me to do next, and I'll be sure to get to it.